because what the code says now is that we allow mobile homes on any parcel that is buildable. So on 5.3, we brought in the manufactured dwelling design standards for any dwelling. And these will also apply to a manufactured home. And so that's how we put this in here. So it has to have a certain pitch, just like a regular dwelling does. It has to have an overhang, just like a normal stick-built house. The siding has to be like a normal stick-built house. The foundation has to be approved as you would a dwelling. The one thing that's particular to manufactured home is they have to be anchored, and the code states that they have to be anchored by wrapping a strap around them. Or you can anchor the frame, but then it has to be anchored to a foundation. So there's caveats to this. So we put some language in there, and this applies to a mobile home, and it also applies to any dwelling in the town. And if a mobile home can make it, or a manufactured home, it will be able to come in. And what I can see is a double wide mobile home would meet those standards if it was on a foundation. So.
And it was less than 10 years old, according to
And it was less than 10 years old. And just so you're all aware, I get about 2 calls a week to bring in a mobile home.
Yeah. With the cost of construction and other options. I mean, it's so much, anywhere people can park a mobile, they're looking to do that.
Yeah, and mobile homes aren't cheap. I mean, we're talking $200,000. It's not like they used to be, 30, 40,000. So they're better made, but the longevity is not there as a stick-built house. And they do not increase in value, they decrease in value. But if that is what people so choose to have, then we are allowing it. Just they have to fall in the perimeters of our code. So basically, this is just our code, and it's made to look pretty and include the language that we had.
I have one question for you.
Sure.
5.7, replacement of existing units, replacement of existing manufactured dwelling on a parcel outside of the community.
Yep.
Will be prohibited unless no new parcels is formed. So if you take one off, you can't put it back unless you make it a new parcel.
That's not, parcel outside the community. No new parcel, no installation.
Wasn't that originally because?
Yes, because you can't,
if what was dilapidated and old and had to be removed.
Yeah, but this doesn't
work when you let them.
This is not complete. So this is a true statement if it was uninhabited, but if it was inhabited, then it would be allowed to be replaced. So yeah, that has to be
basically
changed.
updated, upgraded.
You can word it just a little bit from
Yeah.
I don't know how to reword it, but
I got the original language.
Okay.
I got the old. That's a good point, because that's exactly right.
that was the only thing I seen.
Will be prohibited outside a community that is uninhabited.
So what happens if there was a parcel, and this actually did happen on Evergreen, a little 2-acre parcel that has an old dilapidated trailer sitting on it.
If they were living
They
in it,
lived in it for several years.
then it's out. It doesn't.
But someone from out of town bought that, gutted it, and it's being rented out.
No,
Yeah.
Correct.
I did not
So-
know that.
So that's
That
what we're trying to avoid here.
yes, exactly. But without my knowledge,
Well, it wasn't replaced.
Yeah, that's
It was remodeled,
but you can't remodel it
If it's
because it
vacant
was
for more-
uninhabited.
For more than a year.
Yeah.
It was in complete disarray, grown over.
Where is this? Please.
Are you talking the one right down on 73 by me?
No, it's
Because
on
that
Evergreen. It's the
happened.
first place on the right when you go east on Evergreen off of 73.
Oh, that was inhabited.
But it was empty for a long time. She moved out, sat empty for a long time, and then they sold it. They sold the trailer in the lot. the ad said the trailer's not livable, just the land for sale,
Okay.
and someone bought it, and,
How long ago?
and,
Can you
I'm
tell me that?
gonna say that's probably been 2.5 years ago.
Oh,
Oh, I know.
yeah, okay,
I don't think this wouldn't have been even in place at that time. 'cause
No, it
was-
wasn't, but
no,
that's what we're trying to avoid here is
yeah,
that,
yeah, absolutely.
What about that one that just sold then, right out by me? That there was a trailer and that.
They're very well aware. They called,
building?
Yeah.
Okay.
they called. And there was one that was just sold on Evergreen too. You may have remembered Kayla Siegler. Yes. So the people they sold it to had asked if they could leave it there for the term that Kayla had and then remove it and build. And that was allowed. Her term is up, I believe, in, I want to say September of next year. But I had it on my desk and I did talk to the realtor extensively. So they're very aware. Any other ones I don't know about. If they don't ask or nobody tells me, I have no way of knowing. So. I did, just so you are aware, on Evergreen and Deer Ridge, I believe it is. They moved in one of those sheds and remodeled it and made it into a cabin. And a beautiful cabin, mind you. Put in a storage container and called it a garage. Buried a waste porta potty thing off a trailer and called it a septic tank. And
Without letting anybody know.
And I found out because the realtor called me and said, I didn't think you allowed storage containers. And that opened the conversation. And then I had to tell her that she has to take that listing down or modify it. And then the owner, 1 hour later, the owner came storming in my office. And I informed him that this is not allowed here and that I'll let, Wood County Planning and Zoning know. And you can't sell that cabin as a cabin. You can't stay overnight in there. But these things go on, but unless somebody knows, it's going to keep going on and they get caught by chance. So, I'd like to say we catch everything, but we don't.
Is this cabin already there?
Yes. Yeah, it's really, and the
Where?
worst part about it is the gentleman brought it out there in 2023 and on the permit, it says storage only. So he knew, he was very well aware what the limitations were.
Hold up. We're on the corner of Evergreen and Deer Ridge.
It wasn't on a corner. It's,
One property down, that's what I'm thinking, the garage.
I have it on my desk. I know the parcel number.
I think it's right here.
Is it parcel number 387?
Here.
That's the storage.
No, that's not it. I don't have it in front of me, Josh. I'm sorry. I can get it off.
So what did you just say about the thing that says not storage?
So when somebody takes out a building permit and there's no other building on that property, it makes the building inspector suspicious. So we always write on our building permit, this storage building only.
Okay.
So that if he does try to turn it into a cabin, that it's on file and he signed it, he's doing this illegally and it can be taken to court. So that's why we do that.
Okay.
But sometimes it falls through the cracks, like somebody moving to, let's say, Colorado and selling it for $189,000 on 5 acres. If they're not caught, then that goes on. Just saying.
I'm curious of that parcel number. Because I should be fully aware of what you're talking about, and I'm not.
Closing your eyes again when you drive by.
Well, I guess I don't drive by that, just
Been there forever.
the garage.
Well, she said it was 2023 that he asked for the permit, so 3 years.
It's been there longer than that.
That garage I'm thinking of is the
1800519 BC.
As far as this manufactured dwellings ordinance goes, I mean, it looks great. It's got a ton of requirements. We sent it. This is the result of the attorney's work to make sure it is not only organized but complies with the code changes.
Yes.
We were going to address the language of 5.7, basically making it clear that you can't replace an existing manufactured dwelling if it creates a new parcel. That would be problematic. That's how that's.
It's supposed to be if it's
Right next to
uninhabited
the
for a year,
Okay.
equestrian.
then you
Let me
can't.
see, equestrian.
Okay. I mean,
Look, Lorelei, that parcel number is on Blue Ridge
Blue Ridge,
in 13,
And
not
13.
Evergreen and Deer
not
Ridge,
every.
right? Okay. I live on Evergreen and Deer Ridge, and I was like, what? That's,
Yeah, sorry.
there is a construction going on, but he hasn't put anything up yet. There's just a foundation.
Which is across the street from there.
My old house.
So this would be,
My old house.
It's not.
Dave Bryant's right there.
Yeah, it's corner of Blue Ridge.
Yeah, but this is just.
Oh, the next one, no.
this is the ranch.
Well, you said it was right on
There
the
was,
corner.
yeah, there was no.
Oh, that's right.
Like,
Next to
we
the-
should have recommended approval of this.
Yes,
And
and
then this is,
Look at that cabin.
Yeah.
we've got.
Right.
I'm
Just a little bit.
real close to making a motion.
yes.
Yeah.
All
I'll
right, we gotta
second
get back.
that
Does anybody have any more discussion about the ordinance itself and the language and
We
the
have the
restrictions?
language repaired on 5.7.
Yes.
With the language repaired on 5.7, I have no further discussion. Anybody else? Thanks for getting us back on track.
No, it's okay.
Who did the motion?
So with the motion, with the understanding that 5.7 is corrected, I would make a motion to recommend this updated manufactured dwellings ordinance, to recommend approval to the town board of this.
One second.
Okay, we got a motion by Adam, second by Angie. Any further discussion? None? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, item 12, driveway locations and number permitted on parcel. Go ahead.
This ordinance was just added to, what we've run into is we have, and this is one parcel that started this, but then in talking to our road manager, he said it's a big problem. So we have these small or even larger lots. So they have one driveway and then that's for their house. And then they put in a shed over to the side. So they put in another driveway, and that doesn't seem too problematic. But then now you put in a horseshoe driveway on top of that, all within a short, distance. And it's not the idea that he has a lot of driveways. We could care less. But if you're going 45 miles an hour going down that road and there's 4 driveways there, and now you got people turning out of all of them, now you've got a traffic hazard. So we added language in here, and boy, I hope it's in red.
It is.
That's good.
Is it?
And highlighted, and others highlighted in yellow. So
Oh, good.
this one is.
So the only thing that's changed on there is when the attorney looked it over, she put in on number 1, town road speed limit must be 40 miles an hour. It should be 45. Because our roads are 45, not 40.
Not unless they're marked. They're not marked, they're
Right.
55.
Right, but in this case, what we're saying is all of these must be true, and in talking to Doug, 45 was the cutoff. So what we're saying is that these things have to be, if you want more than one driveway, all of these things have to be present. And that means the ones that we already have are grandfathered.
So driveways must be minimum of 75 feet apart from each other. That is including your neighbor's driveway as well, right?
Yes.
Not just on that.
Well, right. I would say no. I would say that's not true because if your lot is here and he only has a 75 foot and your driveway is here, so you already are in violation. So I would say this is on your own property. This would all be on your own property.
That would make sense because our zoning on certain areas only have to be, your driveway has to be, what is it, 20 feet?
Yeah.
Right.
25 feet
Yeah.
off of the property line,
Right.
so
Yeah.
it would not.
I would say it's on your own property.
Okay.
And we already do have language in our driveway ordinance that says you're only allowed one driveway and a second one by town board approval.
Okay.
But it's never been enforced. And the problem with that not being enforced, now we're starting to see problems where everybody's got a boat, everybody's got a, they have a corner lot, so they want 2 driveways over here and 2 over here. Well, now you're right next to a stop sign, there's 4 driveways. So we can see where it's gonna be a problem. So that's why we're trying to fix the problem before it gets worse. The waterway one means if you have land and it's split by a creek, basically that's what it means.
So we have changes of the, on the section 3, the authority
That just updated with state statute.
statutes.
That didn't, the language didn't change, just the state statute.
Any further discussion on the revision of the driveway ordinance?
I think we spent a lot of time in it when we redid it the first time, and if this needs to be put in there just as a, it's something that we missed or weren't aware of in the beginning, I have no issues with it.
The attorney did review the whole thing too, so.
Yeah.
What is the width of an average lot in like some of the subdivisions and stuff?
Minimum 75 feet.
Well, minimum
Except on a
75 feet.
cul-de-sac.
So if you only have 75 feet, you only have one driveway. No matter
Yes,
what. No matter what.
fact. Unless you have access somewhere else on your property.
That's a little excessive, but that's.
Well,
Buy
we
2
just,
lots.
It's in there, no,
Then don't
Buy
buy a
2
flag
lots.
lot.
just
Yeah.
approved the,
That's
just
all.
approved the subdivision of a CSM with 75 point
Yep,
0.03.
access.
Yeah, and it'll get 1 driveway.
that's all they'll ever have.
I mean, I don't know how practical a second driveway would be on the,
On 75 feet.
within 75 feet. I mean,
Well, my neighbor's got 2 driveways.
I have 2.
I'm not saying there's not a time where they are practical, but if all you have is 75 feet of frontage at the roadway,
Well, yeah.
then it's not
Yeah, but
practical.
it's
to
not
have
practical.
two.
Yeah, there's no
But you know that when you buy it.
Right.
So don't
initial need.
say,
for
well,
it. No.
I can't have 2 driveways. Well, then either we need to stop allowing flag lots or they have to understand that they live on a flag lot.
Is there a motion out there?
No, I've not heard a motion yet.
But
Not me on this one. Somebody else.
Would you like, I would entertain a motion.
okay.
We got a motion by Dan to recommend approval of the
Driveway,
revised zoning order, or, I'm sorry, driveway order.
revised driveway ordinance.
Motion by Dan, second by Patty. All those in favor?
Alright.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Are we saving solar for last still?
We can do it.
Well, we can keep going. Information and announcements from PC members. Patty?
No.
Nothing?
Okay.
James?
Our auto repair shop still doesn't have his fire sign out. Remember, we took-
That's the one that was in the wrong place, right?
no, it wasn't there at all. Tim, it's
Doesn't have a website.
fire sign. No
Okay.
fire number at all.
I'll get on it.
Anything else?
Nope.
Christie?
I just have a question in regards to the hotel next to Critters. and all of the, what is that, Schwann's trucks that are now back.
Oh, they are.
Oh my gosh,
How
that
many
they're
are there?
coming out from behind the fence into the driveway. Just, you know, it was there and then it moved out off of,
Yep.
you know, that road out going toward
Yep.
Vesper or whatever road that is. They're all back. They have been moving back slowly, but now
Okay.
they're pouring out of that fence like crazy.
Okay, we will just cite them. We're done. We
Yeah,
we
it's
tried
behind that.
negotiated with them years
There-
ago. We're not gonna do that.
And there is,
Enough.
I'd have to find the minutes, but there is a written agreement of how many he can have on site.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
50 or
I might have to go to Curtis.
He doesn't have, oh, no, he doesn't.
So,
something. There was.
like
With the
needed
town?
excuse.
The town had a
Yeah,
written
sure
agreement that it
Yes.
could be up to, and we believe the number's 50.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
Yeah, when I
Sure
was
it
on the
was.
board,
Yeah.
we had.
That
Oh,
was
God.
And we think the number is more than 50?
Oh,
Jeez,
yeah,
no,
there's
a lot of
hundreds
them. Yeah, he did.
that he has.
Sorry,
Mhm.
sorry. I know they're there, but I don't, I
And I
guess like
know-
Josh, I close my eyes when I.
Yeah.
that
That's
they
a-
had started to come back, but I also know that he still had a bunch of them
Oh
out,
my
going toward Vesper, but all the ones in Vesper are gone.
Yeah,
So-
They have been removed and I think they are all.
Yeah.
Because Vesper made him move.
Oh, no.
I don't think it was quite in Vesper. I think it was still the Rapids area out there where he had them, but
Well, see,
It's Kathy Kios that owns the land.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were several different locations that they all went to.
okay.
I
To
will
get the
go-
number down to meet our,
They're
To me,
busting at
our-
the seams out there.
Yep.
Again.
I knew it was gonna happen because they were somewhere else and they got told they had to move them. I think it was Rome.
That.
they were,
Okay.
they were moved them several.
Thanks for letting me know that because I didn't. I guess I don't get out much more.
Okay, no worries.
No, I didn't, I just went by there yesterday, I didn't notice.
Rob?
Just something I noticed on the way to the meeting and this antique store that we allowed,
Yes,
now there's a big
that I
flyer.
did notice.
what do you mean over here?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
up
I
every
I just happened to
single,
notice they got one of those big flyers out now, big flags that
Yeah.
fly next to the sign. I didn't
and
know.
it's running every single week. And I thought she was gonna do this like one
Not
weekend
that,
out
I
of
was
a
just
month or
talking
something.
about the big sail
The
flag
one
that's
over.
out here in the corner.
That's in the corner of Young.
No, right here's she's got a
She's got one
billboard
right
here
there.
with a big
I thought
You
sail
got one
flag.
right in the corner. of
There's,
Young.
something in the
Because she's on.
sign
Young
ordinance
Street,
about
isn't it,
flag
on Young
signs.
Street?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
you can have them temporarily out in front of your business, not throughout the town.
But what if you have an at-home residence business? What if, are you allowed one of those flyers?
Not on the right
I would say no. Well,
not
I
on
guess-
the right away or not.
I guess I would probably allow it on their property for one day, like we do a garage sale sign.
Or
but
weekend.
Yeah.
Weekend, yeah. 72 hours.
Yeah. I'll take care of that too.
I just happened to see it on my way here. I didn't close my eyes.
You know, you're right. I did see that, Rob. I'm sorry. I did remember seeing that.
I don't know, what's the name of that antique?
Forever Antiques.
Yeah, it says
Oh,
on
on
the
Young?
sign.
On Young, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
But if I remember it, when they came in, that was only gonna be like once a month that they were gonna have that.
Yeah, it's
Wasn't
black.
gonna
The
be-
big flag says antiques on it.
Yeah,
And I-
Well,
but right on the corner of Young Street too.
Yeah, and they put a sign way at the other end of the bridge in the Coosa.
Well, I can't do anything about.
I know, but I'm
it,
just saying.
This one I can control. This one I will take a look at tomorrow. Okay,
Well, for at-home businesses, but if they all advertised like that, we would
I
have
agree.
Chrissy upset.
Anything else, Rob?
That's
No,
funny.
that's it.
Alright. The only thing I had, I was gonna announce what I did earlier during public comment. So, I don't believe I have anything else, but I think of anything. Interrupt. Dan, anything?
Just wondering if, how much information has been shared with what we have on the data center regulations or anything like with the city or
I have-
Coosa or whatever?
I took it to the Towns Association, handed it to, City of Wisconsin Rapids, Town of Port Everett, Grant, everybody in Will County around us. I have distributed highly. And the attorneys are aware that, we have that ordinance and they are sharing it.
We're mentioned.
It just seems like,
We're mentioned.
you know, they're,
Are we?
The last page.
Oh, we're so good.
you know, the they seem to be so ignorant on anything that's out there. And
I'll look
just-
at I gave my calculator. I'll look at it.
even with the solar stuff and all that, you know.
Well,
My daughter lives in Clintonville and they've got one going over in that area. And it's on private lands and it's in wetlands and everything else. And everybody's just kind of don't have a clue. And, you know, the information is out there. It just seems like people have got their head in the sand with all of this stuff.
I'm due to speak on the 13th. Was that tomorrow?
Mhm.
Yeah, at 2:00 in the afternoon to county, Washera County, I believe. And they asked me to come on board, and they want to ask questions about our solar and how we feel about it and what we did and how we're, you know, addressing our contracts and all that. And I said, I'll tell you everything I know. We don't have any secrets. We're more than willing to share. But yeah, we actually had open meetings here for municipalities when we were doing our solar. We invited municipalities in, provided them a lunch at no charge. And we had very few that came.
Well, it's like, you know, with the town of Grant and I don't know what that next town is called to their east, you know, but that system is
Clover.
big over there. Is that the town of Clover?
County Clover.
And, you know, how much information did they glean off of us to work up their developers agreements, you know, or are they just hanging out there by a string?
I can speak for Grant because I do know the individual that the Grant folks have been in touch with. And only because I work with her on different things up in Amherst in regards to the same thing. And she was fully aware of our website. She grabbed every single thing about our solar and our developers' plans and everything that she could possibly read up from our website and was very appreciative of it because
Yep.
she couldn't find a lot of information. And so I do know that Grant went through our stuff with a fine-tooth comb. And now, of course, we're still going through it now as well when we talk about our new solar ordinance. So I do think, you know, once we get this finished or whatever is another thing that we can be passing on because you are right. Yeah, there's communities that are asking for it that are kind of behind the ball.
Yeah.
And we just happen to be able to jump on it a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
And they're very appreciative of everything that we are able to provide.
And I firmly believe, and I think everybody in this room believes, that the more we share, the more we're going to get shared with. And there's nothing that's more collaborative than working together with another community and, you know, in all of our issues, because we all have the same issues. No matter how much money we have or how poor or how rich our people are, it's still the same issues. So
The whole, you know, Lorelei, you know that Wood County is the most active county in the Towns Association.
I did not know that.
And, you know, they should be the ones that are out there sharing. I mean, actually, the Wood County people should be the ones that are sitting in on the things that are going on in Rapids and Town of Grant, Town of Clover, and different areas that, it's just, to me, it's just kind of strange. And maybe we're so far ahead of ourselves that make it lucky that we are in the position that we are.
I think we're very lucky. We got Christy here because she keeps her ear right to the ground and keeps us informed. So I think we got such good people here that they're all different walks of life. So we all hear different things and we all can bring a lot to this table. But in regards to this data center in Rapids, my brother sits on the board, so I'm a little careful of my interaction there. But yeah, there's a lot of issues and there's so many unknowns with a data center because they're not all the same.
Well, yeah, and they've changed proposals like every other day. Somebody new comes in and says, hey, we want to do something here. And 2 months later, the name changes and somebody else comes in and they don't tell you nothing. I mean, it's all,
Right.
if you're not really on the ball and know what to ask, they're not gonna put anything out in front of themselves anyway.
You are.
We just got really lucky with working with the company we had initially with Savion because they were very open,
Yeah,
very
extremely
good
good.
people to work with.
Yeah, when we get to the solar, you'll hear just how things are changing.
Do data centers pay taxes?
I don't know.
Are they a utility? Because utilities.
I would say they are a utility.
See, and that's another thing too,
So they
that
gotta
nobody knows all this stuff, you know, they,
Corporation or private.
Well, Alliance is a corporation.
Yeah, but they're not supplying anything.
Right, they're a
They're in
consumer as
business
a
for
processor of
themselves.
utilities, not.
I don't know. I
What
don't
utility-
have that
what
aspect
utility
of it.
would they provide? I don't know that they provide a utility. It's private. It's,
Internet?
no, they're not
No,
providing internet.
no,
They're
they're storage
They're
facilities.
storage
for
facility.
data.
Yeah,
Well-
for data
Or
storage.
everything,
mining?
so they don't-
Some of them.
Yeah, we have a data mining. Yeah, but
Well, what about flock camera?
no, that's totally out of the realm.
I mean-
Don't start with that.
Yeah.
Let's stay on top.
We're gonna need an ordinance. Next agenda item.
I don't even know what the heck anybody's talking about.
You don't know what flock camera is?
Okay, stay on topic, let's stay on topic.
Hey, we've been doing good. We've been doing real good.
Public
All kinds of
Somebody tell me what it is first.
After the
Yeah,
after
I'll
the after the
Okay.
meeting.
Well, they have different areas.
I'm okay.
Not here.
So,
The
yeah.
one is still here. The two of, there's two of them.
So yes, yeah, I guess in response to your question, yes, we are trying to be as open as we can. And if somebody calls, I answer to the best of my ability and I give them all the information I possibly can.
I'm just, of course, we've never done it either, but I'm just surprised that somebody, well, they called you or something, but they have never personally, like, came to a meeting and
No,
asked questions or
they
anything like
haven't.
that.
No, you're correct. But I've had a couple people reach out and ask for a data ordinance that weren't even from our area. So it is getting around, but it's like everything else. Technology is changing so fast. Our data ordinance is going to be,
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
but you know, Tom and I used to go into the Towns Association website and just go down through the towns and
Yep.
look at their ordinances and pick a piece here, pick a piece
Yep.
there, and put things
Exactly.
together.
exactly.
You know, maybe that's what people are doing, is actually going in that way. You never know how many times your website is being looked at. So,
And that's exactly what I do when I write an ordinance. I pick apart other people's ordinances
Yeah,
that are,
it's all out, I mean, the
Mhm.
Towns Association website is,
phenomenal.
yeah, it's got a lot of information. That's all.
Yeah, Angie?
Nothing?
Adam?
2026 recycling event, clean sweeps, if that's correct, September 12th, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. I'll have it in the minutes. I just think it's another. Granted, if I take so long to get out the minutes, they won't even, well, at least if they watch the meeting, they heard it here first.
We'll have it on YouTube before the meeting.
There you go.
before the-
So it's good that it was vocalized. Maybe the minutes won't be the place people read it. Okay, that's all I got.
All right, thanks for that. Item number 14, Town Recreation Ad Hoc Committee update.
Want to do solar first?
No,
Nope.
that sounds like a long agenda.
Cause I'm gonna need a little bit of time. I don't know how far we wanna get into it.
I really don't need much time. I really don't.
I want to hear about the recreation.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
We haven't talked about it in a long time.
Kind of glossed over it.
It's kind of too ahead here, so that's okay.
I
Everybody
believe the last couple meetings we kind of rushed in.
No, that's whatever. Oh boy, I handed out my original copy.
That's right, we can share this one.
No, I got plenty of them, but one of them, somebody's gonna get my copy that's got notes all over it, so.
We're sharing over here. Yep. Funny big.
I've got
Sure.
Did you
We
find
got a
your
couple
note?
more yet.
No, you got one. You got notes on everything.
Let me take one more for you.
I got plenty of them.
Yeah,
They can each have one.
You
Yep.
made eight.
You made 8.
that makes nine.
We're all good.
So we're one person.
You guys, they're sharing.
Should be eight.
Please.
I guess we'll go down this sheet. Forget about the map for now. I guess I'm kind of at the end, or we're kind of at the end. This is just a list of people that we've talked to. Just had verbal conversations with, nothing's in writing, no agreements were made, just casual conversation. So Wood County, Parks, Chad Schooley's in charge of that. I talked to him at depth. It was early on in this project, so, I got quite a bit of information from him as to some ideas and how much help Wood County would be available to give us. And right now they're working on some great big bike projects themselves up at Powers Bluff, but they're kind of going to be winding down in the next year, and hopefully I can get some of that attention over to us. But until we're more serious, I think we have to be a little more serious about before Wood County will become more engaged and more involved. And that's just my personal feeling with the couple conversations I had. Point Bass is working on. Does somebody have one of these that has a bunch of notes on it?
A white piece of paper? No.
Yeah, that's got a whole bunch of notes on it.
Is that in the printer?
Oh, did you?
No, I just printed
No.
something, but
All right.
not more than that.
Well, now I'm gonna go. Where is it? I live.
Look at that.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
We're good.
Use that and you can find out.
Pretty organized.
You got one that don't have notes? In our life.
Point Bass, they're working on, trying to get some, a connection from Point Bass to, the bridge through Domtar land. They're either gonna try to purchase that parcel and use it for their own use, or try to work on some sort of agreement through the Domtar, but they're working with Domtar on and off on that. How fast that's gonna happen, I don't know, and how we can connect to Point Bass any other way, we're not sure yet either. But that's one of the points that we wanna get to with this trail. Rome Visitor Center, they're still working on coming to the north. And until we figure out where we're gonna end up as our starting point on County Line Road, they're not gonna go too far with their project either. ATS Power High Lines, the high lines that go through our township, the great big ones that come from Lake Petenwell and come all the way up through our township. We would be allowed to use any of that property, although the land underneath it belongs to the landowners. They have an easement to the property. American Transmission Power Company has an easement to the property. They can drive on it anytime they want it. The property owners can't have permanent structures, buildings. They can plant food plots and gardens and so on, but they can't do anything. So a bike path is possible as far as the American Transmission Company is concerned. We could put one on their property, but we would have to have an agreement with the landowners. So the landowner that owns that land that has an easement would have to give us permission to cross their property. And that, I'm not sure how that would even work. It is possible, but we'd have to have a landowner that would be willing to do that.
A whole bunch of them.
For a whole bunch of them, yes. The same thing with Enbridge Pipeline. They would allow a bike trail on it, no problem, can't be paved. But they would have no problem, and actually were very receptive, and so was American Transmission Company. Yeah, that sounds like a great thing. We would help you with it if you want to use our property, but we don't own that property. It's easement, and each individual owns it. We just have easement to it, so we can't say, yeah, you can put your bike trail across it, because someone actually owns that property. But they're open to it, and they would be willing to work with us.
Can I ask real quick in relationship to those two specific areas, the pipeline and the transmission lines, would the thought be to run with it or across it? Is there, or does it vary depending on the route that would ultimately be
Yes.
sized on? Okay.
Yes, it would depend on that. And we'll look at the map here in a minute and just
Okay.
Throw some stuff out. Same thing with Wisconsin River Power Company, they own it. They would be willing to let us cross on some of it if we need to, but none of the trail system seems to get to that area. Some of it might, but, they have a 2-year project plan. So every 2 years, they review applications for projects that they might be involved on their properties. And it's next March is when that comes up. So if we did want to do anything or use any of their land, we would have to apply and put in our application, and it'd be like applying for a grant, but it wouldn't be for a grant. And then they would either approve, yeah, we're good with that or not, but it's a 2-year cycle that they do that. We Energies, they're, if you look on the map here, you can see We Energy owns the right-hand side of the solar where that line goes up diagonally. They don't own it yet. So, we really can't discuss a bike trail through their property because they don't own it yet. So, the developers owns it, from what I understand with that conversation. So they're not in the business of, they would be open to it from what they mentioned, but until they actually own it and are stakeholders in it, we're not saying it's off the table, but like I said, this is a discussion we've had over the phone, and that's where they're, that's where they're at. Alliant Energies, they run the one that we have already on both sides of Range Line Road. They're very open to anything that we would want to do on their property, as long as it's outside of the fence. But that gives us a lot of area there to work with, and he's very, very sure that they would be willing to work with us on that. Talk to the DOT, and again, this goes back to trying to get across a 10-mile creek on a public road or next to a public road. DOT right of ways, how much of the DOT road right of way can we use to, like Rome did, for their trail? They have a fellow down here by the name of Dave Moret. He's out of Rapids office, and he's got lots of experience on bike trails and snowmobile trails, ATV trails that run on state land. So he's very, very knowledgeable on this.
Rob, isn't there a bridge across the 10-mile, a walking bridge across the 10-mile near the highway?
No.
Oh.
No, there's a snowmobile bridge down further. DNR, Jennifer Bergman. Jennifer Bergman is the fisheries biologist. She's got nothing to do with land, but she's the person that's in charge of all the land in our township, because almost all of it is along the 10-mile creek watershed protection plan. And so anything that would happen on any of those lands, because she's a fisheries biologist, she gets first say on what happens, what we can do. That's all process of what that property was either donated to the DNR or the DNR purchased it. Whatever that was, however that was described as, the description of what that land's going to be used for, that's what it kind of has to stick to, unless it goes through a big process with the DNR that they could change that. So until we know exactly what land we might be interested in using or trying to cross, it depends on what the land was designated for. And there's plenty of land that the DNR owns that we might be interested in or might not be. I don't know. Now, my discussion with Wood County, as far as and the state DOT, as far as, let's say we wanted to go down County Trump Z from Hollywood and head up to the north past the campground and go up along County Trump Z. I asked the county, do you have surveyors that could survey that so that we would know what the distance from the road is, how much room we have to work with? Do you have engineers that can help us with this? And they don't. They hire all their engineering, they hire out all their surveying, that's all hired out. So that holds true with the state. So when I asked, can someone from the state come over here on State Highway 13, let's say, next to the solar plant on State Highway 13, there's a big chunk of land, there's utility lines, there's a huge big area between the state highway and the tree line. Some of it the state owns, road right away, and some of that's an easement for the utility. So I said to the state, can someone come and kind of guide us as to how much we own here, how much can we work with, where can we go, what parts can we put a bike path on, and they don't make those decisions. The state does not. What we would have to do is get an engineering firm or a consultant and have them go with us and try to figure out several different routes and try to figure out which one would be the least cost, the least traveled area, the easiest to work with the state for the easements, the utilities, crossing the roads. So in other words, the state and the county doesn't even do this. If the county wants to put in a bike trail, they have to hire engineers and consultants on their own. They don't have their own. They could go out and do this under the taxpayers' money. So we have nobody available that would come along with us to do this. They all use a consulting firm. So to do this, the fellow from the state said, Mike, we would have to pick a construction company or a consulting engineering firm. And this is what Rome's process was also. And they sat down with Rome and said, well, what do you want to do? We want to get from point A to point B. Here's us as laymen think we want to go. And then an engineer would say, well, you really don't want to go that way because there's underground cables here, or there are utilities here, or crossing the state highway at this spot because there's a curve. I mean, there's all stuff that we can't do, and the state doesn't do it, and the county doesn't. The county doesn't have anyone employed that would help us with this. So all the bike trail park stuff that's going on at Powers Bluff has all been done by the engineering and survey crew.
Do we know what firm that was?
Yeah, there's all kinds of them. So, but I didn't list them because I'm not in the business of hiring people, and that would be the next step.
Right.
So just so that you know, it's nothing that we can work with on our own to try to farm this kind of stuff out. Understand where we're at with that?
Mhm.
Okay. So the considerations with the discussions with these peoples are, we might have to cross the state highway. There's where the DOT gets involved. But until we know where we're going to cross the state highway, it's a moot point until we know where we're going to cross it. That's where an engineering firm would say they would contact the DOT and say, well, we're going to cross up here on County Line Road and go to the east. Are we too close to the curve, or are we too close? Do we have enough vision? Utilities, power, gas, internet, overline power lines, all of that has to be considered. If it's gravel, that's not a problem. If we go anywhere with it where there's gravel over any easements at all, power or pipe easements, it would have to be gravel so that they can dig them up fast and make repairs. If we've got blacktop, that causes a problem for them. So road right of ways, same thing. Where are the town road right of ways? How wide are they? How much can we use of that road right of way? What's the setback that this bike trail can be from someone's front yard? Let's say if you lived on Bell Road and the town owns 33 feet. Can our bike trail be right on the edge of the 33 feet of the property owners? Does there have to be a setback? There's a lot of questions, but engineering firm or our town can work with an engineering firm to answer that. The same thing applies to the easements for the utilities. How far to the personal private property can we go with this trail, but beyond the power line utilities or Enbridge's utilities. Bridge crossings. I asked, the DOT, I said, can we cross the 10 Mile Creek on Bell Road? It's a nice quiet area. It's a nice bridge. We wouldn't have to build a bridge. Who would be the person that would say, no, you can do that, or yes, you can do that, or what are the safety standards? And I didn't get any answers from the DOT. He said, I think that the town would be in charge of that. So, that's another question. If the town said, yeah, you can cross, we'll paint a white line on this beautiful, nice bridge we got on Bell Road, but if there's a couple riding their bike on that side of the white line, a car comes around Bell Road curve and hits them, there's a lot of liability involved in all of this that's way over this board's head. So that's why we have to have someone that knows some of that. But from what I gathered from the first phone call with the DOT is that that's not a state bridge. That the town would have the say on that.
It's not, but it's not wide enough to accommodate pedestrian travel.
These are all questions that have
I get
came
it.
up, and I can't get answers to them because it'd be endless. It's endless, and what I might perceive as right wouldn't be the same as what an engineer and someone that does it for a living. So, DNR land goes back to, it depends on what it was designated for. She's open to allowing it if she can change the designation and it doesn't interfere with hunting, fishing, it's safe. It's a possibility. Private landowners, again, we have to deal with some private landowners, try to anyways. An example would be, I did send 2 letters out to landowners, and that is on the snowmobile bridge on between 10 Mile Avenue and Blue Ridge. There's a beautiful snowmobile bridge there and a trail, but there's private property on both sides of it, and they have an agreement with the snowmobile club.